What happens when old scandals refuse to stay buried and the internet decides it's not done asking questions? Years after the downfall of Jeffrey Epstein, his name is once again dominating timelines. But this time, it's not just about him. It's about the powerful figures who once crossed his path, from tech billionaires to royalty to chart-topping music icons. Viral clips are resurfacing, old interviews are being dissected frame by frame, anonymous claims are spreading at record speed. And suddenly, names like Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, Jay-Z, and Sean Combs are trending again, not for new projects, but for past associations. But here's the real question. Are we uncovering new truths, or watching the internet remix old controversies into something bigger than the evidence supports? Let's unpack what's actually happening.
The renewed attention began after online commentators and independent content creators revisited documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein's criminal case. As a reminder, Epstein was arrested in 2019 on federal charges related to trafficking minors. He later died in custody while awaiting trial. His longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, was subsequently convicted on federal charges in 2021. Since then, public interest in Epstein's network has never fully faded. Flight logs, contact books, photographs, and court filings have been analyzed repeatedly over the years. However, recent viral discussions claim that additional details, particularly involving alleged health issues and private misconduct, are exposing even more about high-profile figures. It's crucial to separate verified information from online speculation. Bill Gates has publicly acknowledged meeting Epstein multiple times after Epstein's initial conviction. In interviews, Gates has said he regrets those meetings and described them as a mistake. He has consistently denied any involvement in criminal activity and has stated that his interactions were centered around philanthropy. Prince Andrew faced a civil lawsuit filed by Virginia Giuffre in 2021, alleging misconduct in the early 2000s. He denied the allegations. In 2022, the lawsuit was settled out of court without an admission of liability. Following public backlash, he stepped back from official royal duties. In recent weeks, social media has attempted to connect other public figures, including Jay-Z, to anonymous allegations circulating online. At this time, there are no confirmed criminal charges tied to those viral claims. Much of the discussion appears to stem from speculative commentary rather than verified legal documentation. Meanwhile, Sean Combs has been facing separate legal challenges unrelated to Epstein. However, online discourse has blurred the lines between distinct cases, creating a broader narrative about alleged misconduct within elite entertainment circles. And that blurring is where confusion grows.
If you scroll through social media right now, you'll see three dominant reactions. First, there are those who believe this is the unraveling of a much larger system. They argue that Epstein's network likely included more powerful individuals than have faced consequences. For them, every resurfaced photo or flight log mention reinforces a belief that elite accountability is incomplete. This group often views public denials with skepticism. They see settlements without admissions of guilt as strategic moves rather than exonerations. They question how someone like Epstein gained such access in the first place, and whether influence shielded others from scrutiny. Then there are defenders, fans who argue that association does not equal participation. They point out that high-profile individuals attend fundraisers, conferences, and private events where many powerful people intersect. In their view, being in the same room as someone who later committed crimes does not automatically imply wrongdoing. They also warn about the dangers of viral misinformation. In today's algorithm-driven world, emotionally charged claims spread faster than carefully verified reporting. The third group is perhaps the most reflective. They acknowledge that Epstein deliberately cultivated relationships with influential figures to enhance his credibility. They believe public curiosity is justified, but they caution against turning speculation into assumed truth. What makes this moment different from previous waves of Epstein coverage is the intensity of health-related allegations circulating online. These claims, often unverified, add a sensational layer that fuels engagement but raises ethical questions. And that's when things escalate. To truly understand why this story continues to reignite, we need to look beyond individual names and examine the structural dynamics at play. Epstein's power came not from elected office or celebrity fame, but from proximity. He positioned himself as a connector, someone who could bring billionaires, politicians, academics, and entertainers into the same social orbit. That proximity created perception, and perception created legitimacy. When Bill Gates admitted to meeting Epstein, the reputational damage wasn't about proven criminal involvement. It was about judgment. In philanthropy and corporate leadership, public trust is currency. Even associations that appear questionable can create long-term image challenges. Prince Andrew's situation illustrates how institutional reputations are intertwined with personal conduct. As a member of the British royal family, his public role carried symbolic weight. The settlement of the civil lawsuit, even without admission of liability, had profound implications for public confidence in the monarchy's modern image. In entertainment, the stakes are different but equally high. Jay-Z's brand extends far beyond music. It encompasses business ventures, cultural influence, and global partnerships. When unverified claims trend online, the reputational risk isn't limited to legal exposure. It affects sponsorships, collaborations, and long-term brand equity. Sean Combs presents yet another layer. As an influential music executive and entrepreneur, his separate legal matters have triggered intense scrutiny. When audiences already feel distrust toward elite circles, distinct cases become woven together into a larger narrative, whether factually connected or not. And here's the deeper cultural shift. The internet has fundamentally changed how scandals evolve. In the past, investigative journalism required months of sourcing and fact-checking before publication. Today, a viral thread can shape public perception within hours. Old footage resurfaces instantly. Archived interviews are clipped into short-form videos stripped of context. Anonymous posts can trend before verification occurs. This creates a tension between accountability and amplification. On one hand, public pressure has historically driven transparency. Many major scandals gain traction because audiences refuse to look away. On the other hand, unchecked speculation can damage reputations without due process. Another critical factor is narrative psychology. Humans are wired to seek patterns. When we see repeated associations between powerful figures and controversial individuals, our brains connect dots, even if those dots don't establish causation. Epstein's case remains uniquely potent because it combined wealth, secrecy, alleged exploitation, and elite status. It feels cinematic. That emotional weight fuels ongoing engagement. There's also a financial dimension. Controversy drives clicks. Content creators across platforms know that attaching recognizable names to explosive narratives generates traffic. The incentive structure rewards sensational framing. Meanwhile, public relations strategies have evolved. Crisis management teams now prepare for viral cycles that can reignite years-old stories overnight. Statements must balance denial with sensitivity. Silence can appear evasive. Overreaction can amplify the issue further. Long-term, the broader impact may be cultural rather than legal. We are witnessing a generational shift in how power is questioned. Younger audiences are less deferential to status. They expect transparency from billionaires, celebrities, and institutions alike. Whether that shift produces meaningful accountability or simply perpetual suspicion remains to be seen.
So here we are again. Years after Jeffrey Epstein's arrest, his name still has the power to shake industries. Not because new convictions have emerged, but because unresolved questions linger in the public imagination. Some associations are documented. Some allegations were formally addressed in court. Others exist only in the fast-moving world of viral commentary. The line between investigation and speculation has never felt thinner. And maybe that's the real story. Not just who was connected to whom, but how information itself now spreads, evolves, and transforms reputations in real time. As more clips resurface and more debates ignite, one question remains. Are we finally demanding accountability from powerful circles, or are we watching the internet build narratives faster than facts can keep up? What do you think?